If there's one thing the government does really well, I know you're probably thinking, what could it possibly be? Well, it's consolidating their power and authority primarily so they can continue to run our lives. Why? Well, because they feel they can do it better than all of us. Latest example of this would be the BC Prosecution Service, which has now revised its hate crimes policy to expand the definition of what constitutes hate-motivated offences in the province. In an immediate statement released on February 16th, the Prosecution Service said the definition of hate crimes now includes, among other prohibited acts, hate propaganda offences, such as advocating or promoting genocide, public incitement of hatred, and willful promotion of anti-Semitism. All right, fair enough. The changes follow in the heels of recent statements both by Premier David Eby and the Vancouver Police Department saying that since the start of the Israeli-Hamas war last October, there has been an increase in hate-motivated crimes acts in the province. Kind of odd, though, that when the Catholic churches were being targeted by arsonists over the past few years, basically being burned down, the same government officials didn't consider those acts to be hate propaganda offenses. Now, not wanting to let a serious crisis go to waste, for added measure, the Prosecution Service decided now to list conversion therapy as a hate crime. I know, you're thinking, Israeli-Hamas war, conversion therapy. I'll tell you the correlation in a minute. BC Attorney General Nikki Sharma said in a February 16th statement that the inclusion of hate propaganda and conversion therapy offenses in particular will help the province hold those carrying out those activities accountable. Okay, so here's the link. Victim oppressor, that's the only way these people see the world. So who are the victims? Well, the victims obviously are the people that are being forced to undergo conversion therapy. By who? Well, those main tyrants, those people who think that, a boy's a boy and a girl's a girl. Well, those people obviously are the oppressors. Offenses related to conversion therapy refer to acts that target and seek to repress, reduce, or change particular sexual orientations, gender identities, or gender expressions, according to the revised hate crimes policy. The 4 specific offenses include causing a person to undergo conversion therapy, promoting or advertising this practice, profiting from providing the practice, unlike profiting from, chopping off the breasts and penises of boys and girls, and moving a child out of Canada with the intention of having the child undergo conversion therapy. How dare parents do that? Makes sense. After all, if someone's anorexic, see themselves as being fat when in reality they're emaciated and starving themselves to death, the most humane thing you could really do is agree and affirm them. Not to mention, encourage them to lose a few of those pounds, right? The ban on conversion therapy was initiated by none other than the worst prime minister in Canadian history. I'll let you guess who that is. Along with his Liberal government in October 2020, when everyone was preoccupied by another crisis. It proves once again that tyrants never miss an opportunity to double down and amass more central power. At the time, some conservative MPs, sadly not all, warned that the broad definitions of conversion therapy in Bill C-6 could potentially criminalize normal conversations between children and their parents, counselors, or religious leaders about gender and sexual behaviors. The bill completed second reading in the Senate in June of 2021 and had just been referred to committee before it died when the Trudeau government dissolved Parliament on August 15, 2021 and called for a snap federal election. Yes, profiting once again on the COVID emergency. Some 2 months after the September 2021 federal election, the Liberals in the new Parliament tabled Bill C-4, an even tougher conversion therapy bill that not only banned the practice for children, but for consenting adults as well. Well, obviously adults can't make up their mind. They don't know any better. However, throwing a few crumbs at the Conservatives just to appease them, this time the bill clarified that conversations between parents and children about sexual orientation would not be criminalized. Well, isn't that nice of them? However, they would be criminalized for counselors or religious leaders, of course. Specifically, Bill C-4 sought to criminalize a practice, treatment, or service designed to change a person's sexual orientation to heterosexual. Dare that happen. Change a person's gender identity to cisgender. Or change a person's gender expression so that it conforms to the sex assigned to the person at birth. I never knew you got assigned a sex at birth. I thought you were just kind of born that way. No? The definition of conversion therapy would also include acts to repress or reduce non-heterosexual attraction or sexual behavior, repress a person's non-cisgender gender identity, or repress or reduce a person's gender expression that does not conform to the sex assigned to the person at birth. I think you get the point. So, unlike leftist ideological liberals or NDPers who won't give an inch on social issues, especially sexual ones, the conservatives, instead of opposing the bill in unison and all its underlying ideology, chalked it up as a win that the liberals threw at them and said, see, we can still have conversations between parents and their children, just everything else is off the table. And voila, a motion to accept Bill C-4 without amendment was presented by Conservative MP Rob Moore and adopted unanimously by MPs in the House of Commons on December 1st, 2021. Hey, nobody likes to disagree. Everybody's on the same team, right? The bill was then similarly fast-tracked in the Senate without any debate or committee or study. It had its first reading on December 2nd, 2021, and by December 8th, it was law. That's right, record time when these folks wanted to do something. Sadly, though, this is what happens when conservatives are not really clear on what it is they're actually conserving. Unlike their opponents, the liberals and the NDPers, who are crystal clear on what they're wanting to destroy, namely your individual rights and the family unit. I do appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can also follow me on my Rumble and my Locals account. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Camera612, and I'll see you next time.